I don't personally think people should be like get extra, like should get special praise for not being a grass if they're a criminal. Yeah, if you're a criminal and you've gone out and done a bit of work with another criminal, yeah, and then one of you's getting snicked, why do you deserve praise for not being a snitch? Like, I wouldn't be with you anyway if I thought you was that, you know? That's a sort of, I've never understood that. Like, oh, if a motor mechanic fixes a car engine, he don't, like, no one, like, breaks into applause when he walks into the pub later on that night. Oh, well done, all shaking him and patting him on the back. You're so brave, such a big boy fixing that engine. But people think they deserve it for not grassing. I mean, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, like I said, if you're a criminal and you go out with someone to do a crime, if you thought he was a grass or you thought there was that little bit of doubt, then you shouldn't be with him, or as you're a moron. Yeah? I've been to jail, God knows how many times, enough times. And I've had a co-D, like a co-defendant. I've had a co-defendant twice. Yeah. 3 times. 2 of them was with the same geezer, and then another one. But all the but when I went away for armed robbery, got 6 years. For anyone that don't know, you know, there was, for multiple armed robberies, there was more than 2 people on the CCTV. It was only me that went away, so you know, people can accuse me of being a lot. I've done some scummy things in my life, but no one can accuse me of ever being a grass. But even still, like, why do you deserve special praise for it? I don't get why you deserve special praise for keeping your mouth shut. Oh, well done! Look, the window fitters fitted the window in. Why? Like, what? But people do, and people expect it as well. People expect it if they keep their mouth shut. People expect to be patted on the back, don't they? It's weird, isn't it? But I'll tell you, one time it sort of basically worked for this geezer. It worked. He was a grass and it worked for him. Chelmsford, HMP Chelmsford, the induction wing. I was an insider. An insider deals with the inductions that come in the inductees. They're all the new prisoners, right? On a remand prison, them induction wings are constantly. New people are coming in every day by the busloads, every day. Yeah. Chelmsford would, compared to like London jail, Chelmsford would be like a quiet jail, but my God, mate, it's not. It just shows how busy the like other like big city jails are. I mean, constant from I don't know, lunchtime onwards. Lunchtime right up to the last person gets processed at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, sometimes later. Between 8 p.m. and midnight. That's what time they're coming into every single night. Busload after busload after busload, yeah. And I was an insider. There was 6 on the wing. Like, obviously in the induction wing, people come on, people get inducted, they're on there for a week, and then they get moved to another wing, the induction wing. They they meet me about, I'm going to teach you out the do's and don'ts of Chelmsford, but also, what parcels have you got? Anything? You want anything? I'll come see you later, man. That's basically, that was my sole purpose on there, just to find out if people had anything from. the red t-shirt just opened doors for me, mate. That's what jail's about, man. Using whatever you can to your advantage. That's what jail's about. Full stop. When you're there, just using whatever you can to your advantage to make your time a little bit easier. So I was an insider, and I was out all day from 8 a.m. bang up at lunch, out till dinner. I was on the servery, so I'd get banged up about 20 minutes at dinner, get let out again, go and clean the servery quickly, but then I'd be doing my insider job, like going to see meeting all the inductions till like till like there was no more left. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. If there was a decent night screw on as well, yeah, which there sometimes was. The people that have been in Chelmsford, skinny geezer with a long ponytail. I know his name, but I'm not going to say it, yeah. He's cool, right? And say we did finish at 8 o'clock when he was on. As long as he's just quiet and just... Technically, he's meant to come along and go, oh, you finished now, boys, shut the door. Behind your doors. But he'd let us just sit around, just doing whatever we wanted, you know what I mean? In the cell, mooching around from cell to cell. His mate is sitting the other inside the cell having a drink, other inside the cell. And there was listeners that was out with us as well. 2 listeners on the wing. And they was always out with us. One of the other insiders was definitely an informer. 100%. People didn't fully trust this insider anyway, yeah. Some people don't trust these like insiders and listeners, and they think, oh, it's a screwboy job. Me personally, I got that insider job, so I was out myself all day long, and well, I could sort out what I wanted. Yeah, that's basically that was my sole purpose of being insider. I was out to sell all day long, so I could sort out getting whatever I needed to bang up with that night. Yeah, but this geezer, even the insiders didn't fully trust him. We all thought he was a bit of a sweetgrass, you know. Do you know the sort of person that, oops, I can't believe I just said that. Sorry, you know what I mean? Or, well, just you all know what a sweetgrass is, you know what I mean? So indirectly trying to drop someone in it, you know. Oh, bit of innuendo here. And he talked to the screws like that. He talked to the screws like they was they was a prisoner, basically. Yeah, I don't think he'd ever been in jail before, or if he had, it was a long time ago when he was a kid and he was like in his 40s, late 40s, like, you know what I mean. Then. Even that's not an excuse, is it? You don't talk to the screws like what he did, yeah. So even the fellow insiders didn't really like him, trust him. But he had a phone, yeah, mobile. So obviously at night, after dinner, when it's only us out and the listener, and we're mooching around the wing, literally going here, there, and everywhere, doing what we want. All our doors are open. The insiders, there's no screws on the wing. Obviously, the phone comes out, doesn't it? You know what I mean? From like 6 p.m. till we bang up at 10. We just sit around, you know. He was a funny geezer, honestly, but he was definitely a sweet grass, mate. And he was more than that. He's one of them. He was always mouthy, bit of a hater. You could tell he was a hater. Tell he was a pure hater. Always on the phone to his bird, and he was never. And you always knew he was on the phone to his bird because it would just be pure abuse he was giving her down the phone, threatening to cut her and stab her and this and that. You know what I mean? So yeah, he was one of them. I bet his bird was probably happy he was in jail because he was clearly a bully. Yeah. Anyone that knew him said the same thing. He was. That's what he was like on road. But you know, people are what they are, aren't they? And but even though you give it the big man thing on the wing, you could always tell he'd fold. But I didn't think he'd fold like this. But anyway, we're up on the 2s. You got the 1s and the 2s, yeah, on the induction wing. Up on the 2s and mainly all single cells. You start off in a single cell on the induction wing, then you move down onto the 1s into a double, then they move you off onto the other wing. Insiders stay in the singles. I was high risk anyway, so I was a single cell. I wasn't allowed a cell, mate. Which is the way you want it in jail. Really the way you want it. Go back to watch the video about how I got a single cell. Believe me, I can't act cellmates. And I don't know how I stomached a cellmate for so many years before I did what I did. Yeah. Anyway, mate is got into a beef with a couple of boys on the 1s, yeah. And not everyone on the 1s not everyone on the induction wing, F wing, gets moved off. Some boys will stay on there. If they got beef on another wing, it's like got to be separated. A lot of boys used to end up on there for like disappearing with Parple. Say they was on C wing, They went out onto a visit for someone else to collect a parcel for them and say they got an ounce of weed, get back to the wing, they get given a quarter or half ounce, and they give it to matey. A lot of people used to just go and collect the ounce, go down the block for a week or 2 weeks, and end up on F wing. You know what I mean? You don't respect them, but you know, I never cared. Like, have you got anything? You know what I mean? You're never going to fully respect them, but you know, when you're on those sort of wings, you have to stomach that. You have to stomach certain things. Certain wings would be full of certain people or whatever that you got to stomach. And the insiders had a good thing going. We all did. You know what I mean? So who cares if people coming on there? They're a bit fucking that get weighed in on another wing. But not everyone's like. Some people are in gangs or they've got beef on another wing or whatever. Or you know. Yeah, sometimes you know for a fact you're the only you're in the jail on your own, and you've got 100 enemies on every single wing. You know what I mean? I don't think it makes you a coward to sometimes say I'm not leaving this wing, because what are they going to do if you're in an induction wing and you say I ain't going? Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Well, you're gonna go on basic then. All right, sweet. 7 days later, you get your TV back. Now you're going. No, I ain't. What are they actually going to do? Twist you up? Say, all right, I've got a razor blade in my mouth. You ain't going to swallow no. I'm going to kill myself if you move me on to another wing. There's a million ways you can get out of it without actually being a little informer. You know, I'm going to slip your wrists. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. The people he was arguing with, this geezer and his cellmate, they weren't allowed on other wings because of the beef they was involved in, and not because they was on the numbers or anything. They weren't allowed. The screws they just weren't allowed. Another wing would have them, you know, those sort of people. And they shot it on the wing. I forgot what I was arguing with him about. Yeah, he's up on the twos, leaning outside his cell, and they're down on the ones. Yeah, during soch, arguing. So like the soch has gone dead. It's not that big of a wing, is it? Either F wing, if anyone's been there. It's not really that big. So they're arguing, people going silent, listening. Can't fully remember what it was about now, but the two boys on the ones were sticking it on this insider over something. And he was mouthing it back, and I was mouthing it, arguing backwards and forwards. And come bang up, literally within the hour, those two boys and a couple of other boys, their mates were getting spun. And the screws literally knew where everything was that they had in their cell. Everything, mate. Yeah. Don't hide things in your cell. Keep it on you. That's the advice I can give you. Why would you put things in your cell? But they did, and they got it caught everywhere. Yeah. Some people have got good hiding places, but the screw found everything. Instantly, they're blaming him. Instantly, everyone's blaming him. It's like, well, obviously it was him. He's had an argument with these two boys, and then they get spun with like half hour later, and the screws know where everything is. Everything, yeah. Screws know where everything is. Now they're calling him up through the door. You grass, you this, you that. The word spreads so quick on the wing, because it's being an informer, a grass, a snitch, whatever. That's not what people can tolerate. A lot of things, yeah, and all this. Grapists get beaten up all the time as well. Yeah, I've seen it not happen to known grapists. Yeah, because they're part of a gang or something. You know what I mean? So all that, but grasses. People don't like them. People like it's all criminals, and especially like on the wing, you're all up to something as well. You're all up to say you've all got a good thing going, maybe, especially if you're shot in. Why do you want to grass on the wing? But this is how quick things happen for you if you are an informer. He had the argument within the hour. They got spun and everything got found on them. Yeah. they're putting it on him like through the door. Like, we know it's you, we know it's you. Calling up, he's like, no, 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 no. Nothing's gonna happen till tomorrow anyway. Yeah, everyone's banged up. Open up the next day, the other insider's gone. Where's he gone? Did he move wings? Gone on the numbers? What's he done? And Screw said he's gone decat. What? How's he gone decat? And he'd been trying to go decat for time, yeah. And the Screws always say, "So what? This is I've never been to one decat. First ever sentence in 2002. Never got one since. Never got one again, yeah." But I didn't have to wait like this. I got sent to Chelmsford, and within a week I got a decat. Usually people get a decat and then they'll be waiting a year to go because the bus has to fill up. Because not everyone gets a decat, so they're not going to send like a 10-man bus to go and pick up one person. They'll say, "Oh yeah, we've got to fill up the bus and all this." Yeah, that's why it's a 10-year wait. But they must have sent him in one of those posh, single-seater ones with the comfy leather chairs, mate. He was gone, not even moved to another wing, shipped to the decat he'd wanted. So he'd been bugging the Screws for ages for a decat. Then he does a little bit of snitching, and within 24 hours he's gone to a decat. And when he goes, like, once he's gone, his next door, it was good stuff. Started putting a couple of things together about how he'd been caught out doing a few things, and blamed him as well. But you don't think it at the time, do you? But he got away with it. He got away with being a snitch. I don't know what the moral to that story is. I want to say don't be a snitch, but if you do, you get a decat. If you enjoyed that story, hit the subscribe and we'll chat tomorrow. Adios.